Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a massive show coming up tonight as always, and we take you down to the shores of Hazelwood Pondage, where a very big announcement was made last Wednesday, probably one of the biggest fishing stories to get media coverage in modern times. We also have the head of Fisheries Victoria joining us on the couch tonight with lots to talk about, including Murray cod seasons, boat ramps, fishing club grants, all that and much, much more coming up on the show. Let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak. Welcome, Ads.
Thanks, Dave. I've swapped spots this week and got
Not that anyone can tell by you on television that you've swapped spots.
Probably get a better headshot in here. That's all right.
Enough of the headshots. all the way from Shepparton. A big welcome to Trelly. Welcome, Trelly.
Thanks, Dave. I can't believe the year's gone so fast, hasn't it?
I know.
Last show.
It is the last show. Yeah, we didn't mention that just then, but it is the last live show of the season. Yeah. We're going to take a little break after this, but we will be replaying 4 of our best shows throughout May. So you're not going to...
2 repeats.
Yeah, it might be one played 4 times. No, we'll try and pick out some of the most exciting and best shows, and over the next 4 weeks you'll see them again on Talking Fishing Tuesday nights at 8:30. But it is a special welcome to Talking Fishing once again tonight, the Executive Director of Fisheries Victoria, Travis Dowling. Welcome, Trav.
Yeah, Dave, great to be here.
Plenty to talk about, Trav, but we're going to get straight into it because we've got a lot to cover tonight. There's 10 catches of the week and they're all exciting.
Fantastic.
The big news during the week, it all happened down at Morwell. We're going to have a look right now at the news, how it unfolded.
Morwell is not renowned for its beauty or hot weather, but locals say it will soon become a tropical sports hotspot. A warm weather pond is being stocked with the famous North Australian fighting fish, the barramundi, in an effort to draw anglers to the district. Nick McCallum reports from the unlikely home of a barra bonanza.
Morwell is a grey town in eastern Victoria. It's overshadowed by the Hazelwood power station, but now it wants to compete with the Northern Territory as a tropical sports fishing paradise. Today, 1,600 barramundi, 100 of them longer than 30 centimetres, were released at the Hazelwood power station pond near the town. The discharged cooling water from the station is so warm it's considered ideal for Northern Australia's famous fighting fish.
I think the northern states have enjoyed a monopoly on warm water fisheries, and we're going to put them under a bit of pressure, and we're making no apologies for that.
The idea to create a barra fishery so southern anglers will not have to spend thousands of dollars to head north. Locals are excited at the prospect of a tourism boom, maybe overexcited.
Millions of dollars into the economy of Morwell. People will travel from Tasmania, New South Wales, South Australia and all over Victoria with their boats in tow. They'll come to Morwell to catch a barramundi and they'll bring their tourism dollars with them. They won't be going to Northern Territory and Queensland anymore.
Already the pond boasts small tropical fish, ideal eating for barramundi.
If we've got metre-long barramundi in Victoria, you watch the fishermen show up.
The pond will be closed for fishing for the next 6 months to allow the new residents to acclimatise and hopefully to prosper. But locals are confident they'll have a barra bonanza starting this summer.
Well, Trav, they said it would never happen.
Yeah, it's just been fantastic.
Too late now.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yeah, look, it's just been one of these things that I know you've worked so hard on for so many years, but a lot of people can't afford to go up to Darwin and they can't afford to go to Cairns or Broome or take charters and all the rest of it. And if you're a if you're a little kid who loves fishing and you're growing up and you're reading all the fishing mags, the opportunity to go and catch a barramundi in Victoria, mum and dad drive an hour, and and to be able to tick that off your list, it's just going to be unbelievable for kids.
A lot of people don't understand the history of this, and we won't go over it all, but some 8 or 9 years ago, Future Fish Foundation and AFTA Trelly jointly funded a whole lot of research. So it's not like this is a trial to see, if it's going to work. We did some serious science, and the guy who did that science was Dr. Paul Hardy-Smith, who just so happens to be the vet for the big Werribee. In fact, it's the biggest barramundi farm in Australia. It's down at Werribee, and they produce all the barramundi for the restaurant industry. He's the vet for there. So he's the guy who did the science at Hazelwood. He knows his stuff, and as far as you can prove that scientifically this is going to work, it's been proven.
Well, I think one of the key things is when we look at some of the other species living in Hazelwood at the moment, those species are northern tropical species that have been illegally transported and they've been put in there and they've thrived in there. And there is absolutely no reason why barramundi aren't going to do the same. And we've seen it already with, with some of the stockings that occurred earlier as part of our scientific trials ahead of this stocking. They're going to go really well. And what will be exciting is to basically see the growth rates. And we might have just these fish just chomping their way through everything that moves in there and producing fantastic fishery for Victoria.
We're going to look at barramundi in Hazelwood later on in the show. We've got some great footage of just what the lake is like, and you'll get to see all that shortly. But boys, let's have a look at what's been caught by the people at home. It's time for Catch of the Week.
Catch of the Week, where you get to see yourself on TV.
Let's kick it off with the beautiful, King George whiting, and a hot spot of ours that's been of recent, boys. Sandy Point down near Balnarring, and Sychol, she wrote to us and said she'd been out fishing with her husband Simon, and they got some nice fish to 43 centimetres on the run-in tide down there, boys. So some nice fish there.
It's a nice one. Yeah, Sandy Point. One of those things. We don't get a hell of a lot of reports from there. A lot of people talk about going to fish there. Or catch out of the bag.
Well protected, and it's pretty good down there. So moving right along, of course, it wouldn't be the same without an elephant fish, and this one was caught off Cape Woolamai. Aaron Bickers, lovely elephant fish there, boys.
That is.
Very unique looking species, aren't they?
I still think they're ugly, but anyway.
Travis, as the head of fisheries, do many people ask you for a change to the bag limit of more than one?
Oh, look, we get a couple of emails. It's not a big, strong pressure point, but there's certainly some people out there that are saying, look, it's a great fishery, why don't you have another look at it? And look, we're always going over our science and bag limits and size limits, but at the moment, it seems to be travelling pretty good, the elephant fish.
So which one do you keep, the first one or the last one?
It's very good.
Let's have a look at something that doesn't often feature on Talking Fishing and Catch of the Week, a sand whiting. Young Logan Vesey got this one down in Cryo Bay. It's a decent size too for that species, and pretty good eating too.
I know in Narooma they catch those on poppers. They get their sand whiting on poppers.
Or slightly different. Different
okay, I'll just
species than that.
Right,
but close.
very good.
Close.
So I shouldn't speak to the man who holidays at Narooma.
That's right. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to
fisheries.
That's right.
Let's keep going, and the old calamari off Hastings are going well too. Bo Spearing's landed a couple of beautiful models. Have a look at that for a young fella.
What's the size of him?
I know. Have a look at that. Look at the candles dangling down. It's just beautiful, isn't it?
Now we've had 2 kids on so far out of 3.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Well, have a look at the next one then.
Oh.
Amy Mifsud got a beautiful... Now these, I reckon, have just made an inundation in Port Phillip Bay. The arrowhead squid. That was off Indented Head. So I'd like to talk to Corey Green a little bit. I know he's done a lot of research on cephalopods, but does he know much about these? Does he know much about cuttlefish? Because... both have shown up in big numbers in Port Phillip Bay this year.
Yeah, well, Corey's pretty on top of his squid, so I reckon he's the man. So,
let's keep moving through. Let's go to the freshwater scene now, and young Cody Bidgood got a lovely Murray cod up the Edward River. That's up your way, Trelly.
That is, actually, and just disregard that slightly green glow in the background.
Was that the blue-green album?
It's just Kev mucking around with the photo, increasing the contrast.
It's just the sun reflecting off the water. It's the double.
But it is,
Not to be outdone, but Heath Bidgood, his brother, landed a lovely golden perch on the same trip.
Look at that. That's a good yellow belly. What we call yellow belly, golden perch.
Let's keep moving through another beautiful Murray cod out of Lake Eildon, boys. Have a look at that. 75 centimetres.
Come on, Bob.
Fat with a capital F.
Don't
done
talk
to
about Bob like that.
That's not very nice.
I'm going to keep flying through, boys. There's 10 of them this week. An unknown angler, I'm sorry I haven't got his name, but sent us a beautiful photo of a rainbow trout out of Devil Bend Reservoir. This is a sign to come for the season. Now it's starting to cool down, Trav. This is great fishing.
I mean, that really looks like, a healthy, fat, beautiful rainbow trout, doesn't it?
Nice.
It's just so well conditioned.
And let's finish it off with one from the Daly River. It's that time of year where people are travelling north to the Barra. Josh Favero, he went on humbug fishing charters, 97 centimetre Barra in the Daly River. Now, humbug, they work out of the Daly. They've got a mothership up there. Fantastic charter if you want to go and live up there. Live on the liverboard. They had last week a few days where they got over a dozen 1 metre fish in a day.
That's insane,
That's
isn't it?
good fishing for this time of year because there hasn't been a big runoff up there.
No, the Daly's going off, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Boys, that's it. We're going to move on. If you'd like to send in a pic of your catch of the week, this is what you have to do.
If you want to be like me and have your photo on TV, email your fishing pic to info@ifish.com.au.
And coming up on Talking Fishing Product of the Week, and we take a closer look at those barramundi that were stocked in the Hazelwood Pondage last week, right after this.
Talking fishing.
Product of the week. Brought to you by Tackle World. Now with 8 great locations around Victoria. Tackle World, where our advice is priceless. That's why it's for free.
See it down at Tackle World today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
Now we're miles behind, Ad, so handball to
Handball,
you.
fly
It's
through it.
tuna time.
It is tuna time. We're talking about barra and cod and yellow belly and all sorts of things, but it's tuna time. And I've got a handful of tuna lures here which are quite unique in their own right that separate them for the rest of basically everything else you can buy for tuna these days, which is a lot of stuff. We're looking at UV X-Wraps straight away. Now what makes these different to any other X-Wrap on the market, the markings on the back there actually are UV activated. They look completely different in the water than they do without, and UV is something that's huge in lure making and lure manufacturing now, and has been huge in the game fishing scene, and it also spills over obviously to the bluefin tuna scene as well. So have a look for them. There's heaps of different colours with UV additive and markings on them now. Run the little UV light over it and you'll be very surprised at what they look like under that. Another hard body rolling straight into number 2 trolley. These are the Williamson Speed Pro lures. Now what makes these different and unique to anything else on the market, they have a self-centering tow point, which means it doesn't matter what happens, how hard they get hit, how new or old the lure is, it swims perfectly every single time. And you can also tow them at crazy speeds, which you just can't do with any other hard body on the market. So I predict these are going to get bigger and bigger. Relatively unknown in our Victorian tuna market, but have a look for them. They work, like I said, first time, every single time, and will stay that way through the entirety of the lure's life. So brilliant lure, get amongst it, they'll be huge. Now, Big Rodney from down in Tackle World in Burnie in Tasmania has come up with one of the most beautiful looking red bait skirts I've seen for a long time.
Charlie, have you ever watched Denise Drysdale doing the products? You're doing a Denise Drysdale, aren't you? You are good.
Well,
I like this thing.
Well, to show you how good these lures are, if you take them out during the day and nothing happens, you don't catch anything, slap it on your head, wear it down the pub, and I guarantee you get free drinks for the night, and you might even take home, mate. So have a look at them. Now, it's a UV pink under with a brown overskirt. That is one of the most realistic, once you see them in the water, one of the most realistic red bait imitations that you'll see.
Going to go well this season.
With some of the video I've seen coming out of Port MacDonald already, the schools of red bait there at the moment are just phenomenal. So that's going to be huge. Make it in both the just the straight dart head and also the soft grassy, which has been a staple of tuna fishing in Victoria for the last few years. Moving on to another slight variation on a very, very popular lure, the old Richter Splash Senior. This has probably taken more 100-kilo fish than anything in the last few years, and what they've done there is just put that nice little reflective wing underneath either side of the main skirt. Just helps for a little bit of something extra. Because what's one thing better than the best lure you can buy? Making it even better these days, Charlie. Now this big bad boy here, this is insane. This is not typically a tuna lure. This is the Big Meridian Salt Shaker. Ideally it was designed for big blue marlin and the like. down at Port Mac when these big fish of 100 kilos plus went crazy last year, there was more of these sold than ever before.
Yeah.
And Ian Bowden of Meridian Lures actually ran out of resin because he was punching out so
great.
many more of these than what he'd ever done. Now, it's hard to see and it's hard to show you on TV, but that is just an absolute monster of a lure. And tuna were putting these down like they were little pilchards. So big lures have been one of the biggest revelations in tuna fishing in Victoria and I guess Port Macdonald, South Australia in the last couple of years. Keep an eye out for them because when these big fish turn up, which there was whispers on the weekend, we had fish of 140 and 150 kilos taken out of Port Mac.
Yeah.
And there was also a 100 kilo fish taken in 16 metres of water off Warrnambool. So the big fish are up and about. Big lures will make a big, big difference.
And probably really
That's product of the
important.
week.
Probably really
There you go.
important. You get in and get them rigged up by your local tackle shop who knows how to rig them up.
Yeah,
for you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and it's only a matter of time that there's hundreds of boats launching at Portland and places like that.
100%.
The tuna will be on. Boys, let's head back down to Morwell now because it was a massive event down there when the barramundi were put into Hazelwood Pondage. We've got a bit of footage of what actually went down that day last week. Well, here we are at Hazelwood Pondage, just on the outskirts of Morwell, and like we've been talking up on Talking Fishing, we're about to release some barramundi into this beautiful pondage. The water temperature here at the ramp today is 28 degrees. It's only going to get better. In winter, it's probably around that 24, 25, which is absolutely perfect for barramundi. Come over here, cameraman, have a look into this bucket. There's the barramundi. You can see a couple that are tagged, and the ones that are tagged have got an acoustic tag in them so they can be tracked throughout the lake, and over the next 6 months these fish are going to give us a lot of information about how they survive, their edibility and the condition in 6 months' time.
I can't really take much credit for the penmanship of our Target 1 million policy. It's been an enormous pleasure to be charged with responsibility for delivering it, but when I looked at the very, very long list that my predecessor in these portfolios, Jacinta Allen, had put together, I did pause and say, what? Barra at Hazelwood? Really? And here we are. So Darwin, the Darwin fishing tourist industry are going to be quaking in their boots at this announcement, and we're okay with that. So 1,600 barramundi we're releasing today, the first ever to be stocked in a Victorian waterway. They like it warm, about 22 degrees, I'm told, and so this is where it's all going to happen. This is a major milestone in the Target 1 million policy, and it's called Target 1 million because we want to get the number of people wreck fishing to 1 million, and we're making some pretty good progress to that end. But you know, this is going to be the sort of thing that I think will excite lots of people. So these fish are part of an innovative trial to create in the in a southern state a recreational fishery that's normally only found in the northern parts of the country. The fish that are being released, many of them about 5 centimetres long, 500 10 centimetres and 100 larger fish. And a number of the larger fish are tagged so we can see what they get up to as they settle into their new home. Listening stations will record their movements. We'll keep an eye, obviously, on water temperature at various locations in this body of water. And so I know this is a kind of tough. It's going to be a tough thing for people who are very excited about this to hear. We're going to have to close this fishery for 6 months while they settle in. I hope you'll all bear with us. It'll absolutely be worth the wait. The 6 months is really just a settling in period to let them grow, to also monitor how this fishery develops, and isn't it going to be an exciting day, the day that we open this fishery to the public. So a major milestone in the Target 1 million journey, an enormous boost for communities in the Latrobe Valley that will benefit from the kind of fishery that people will travel great distances for, that people will plan their holidays around, and that in turn means jobs, and so that's a wonderful thing.
Well, there you go. These are the barramundi that are being put into Hazelwood Pondage in Morwell. These fish are going to change tourism and fishing in Victoria forever. Here we go. Going to put him in. Gone.
So run out the nets, haven't got enough yet. Gotta catch a barramundi for you. You can bake it or fry it, never know till you try it. You can even cook it up in a stew. Just roll them in flour and fry them on the stove, or chuck them in the fire and cook them on the coals.
Victorian barramundi, who would have thought?
Chips and salad anyway will do me. Barramundi.
On the footsteps of Hazelwood Power Station lies the beautiful Hazelwood Pondage, soon to be home to 1,600 barramundi and, later on, 15,000 barramundi. Now you could think that I'm in a little creek up in the Northern Territory. You have a look at the structure just over my right shoulder, but here we are at Hazelwood Pondage. Look at that structure, look at this barramundi. Those two things are going to equal 1 metre barra in around about 2 years' time. I'll let this one go now. Beautiful. There's a caravan park, a sailing club, a great little island, and plenty of structure for the barra to just thrive. The historic occasion has arrived. Here is a Hazelwood barramundi. Say wow again, boys. That's it. Wow again.
Yeah.
Trav, talk us through, where's that fishery going to go? What's the next steps? And I know people are going to want to fish it, but they have to wait that 6 months, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, really we want to make sure that the barramundi that we've put in there are going to have the ability to get out there and grow, and we're going to learn a bit more about them, see what their sort of diet composition is, see if they're going to be okay to eat. We're going to do some testing on them, do different things, and look, I could announce tonight, Dave, on your show that we're going to put another 5,000 in there in the coming weeks. Also larger fish, because we want to make sure they don't get predated when they go in, but we're going to make sure that this is an absolute crackerjack fishery. We don't want people to go down there and maybe once every 10 or 15 trips fluke a barramundi. We want people to go down there and have a really good chance.
Yeah. Start the reputation from day one.
Absolutely.
What size fish will those 5,000 be? Are you allowed to commit to that?
Yeah, well, we're aiming for 30 centimetre fish, to put them in at that really nice size where they're going to be the biggest predator out there in the food chain, and they're expensive, but it'll be a fishery that pays off. And for the tourism industry and for Latrobe Valley, we think it's going to be fantastic for the local economy.
You read the reports of some of the impoundments up in Queensland, particularly, say, Gladstone as an example. In Gladstone, their water storage has barramundi stocked in it. It's not a natural habitat. They don't spawn there, and it brings in around $1 million a year in tourism. Now, that's in a state where there's barramundi everywhere, boys. So this is a state where there's no barramundi. It's going to bring the people, and it's going to bring the tourism dollars, and it's only a good thing. Got to keep moving along. Up next, Fisheries News, and we chat with Travis Dowling, the head of fisheries, right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
Good morning, spotters. Stephanie speaking.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
And now it's time for the news. The fisheries news. Sounds a bit fishy to me.
And I'll tell you what, when we talk about the news, we've got the man here who's creating the news, so this is going to be good. Let's get into it. Murray cod closed season has been removed at Lake Eildon, Trav. Fisheries Victoria has announced that the 3-month closed season for Murray cod will not apply to Lake Eildon in 2016. Fisheries Victoria ED Travis Dowling said the change would expand freshwater fishing opportunities closer to Melbourne and deliver on the state's target 1 million plan to get more people fishing more often. Anglers will be permitted to take Murray cod from Lake Eildon during September, October and November this year. Trav, that is big news.
That's good news.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it's following some stuff that's happened in New South Wales as well. And look, we go out and do regional round tables with anglers, and they say to us, hang on, You're putting fish in a number of these waterways. You're doing it with recreational fishing licence money. If there's not a good reason for us not to be able to fish for them, let us fish for them. And we like to think that we're pretty reactive and we listen to that, that feedback we get from anglers. And what we know about Lake Eildon is the cod aren't spawning. We've done some survey work. 99.6% of the cod that we electrofished and we caught out of there, they were all stocked fish. So if they're not spawning, they're not recruiting, then let's let people fish for them all year, and they're a great fish to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just going to put all that up on a slide, but anyway,
Yeah.
exactly
Right.
exactly what you said. So
excellent.
it is. It's good that you'd be able to prove that, or you have proven that those fish are mainly stocked fish. So that's excellent. And of course, a lot of people get up their trelly in that October period for the yellow belly, and you get all this bycatch, which is cod.
Yeah.
Now they can keep them.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's really good news for the fisheries as far as the cod being able somewhere in the States you can fish from all year round. It's great.
Absolutely.
Let's keep moving along. A survey reveals silver perch in Lake Boga is the headline. A fish survey in Lake Boga earlier this month has recorded an unexpected number of silver perch, averaging 39 centimetres and 1.1 kilos. The survey was to assess the effectiveness of man-made woody structures funded by fishing licence fees that were placed in the lake in 2014 to improve fish habitat there. So, Trav, your guys went out to have a look at this, and what? There's not meant to be silver perch in there?
Well, we've never stocked them in there, so they've come in off either the channel system or they've come out of the Kerrang lakes. And silver perch, for people who target cod and yellows, silver perch are a constant bycatch. Now, they still remain a protected threatened species in all of our rivers, because even though they're really prolific where you find them, there's a lot of areas where they're just not anymore. If you're in a particular patch where they are, you'll catch one after the other. What's great about finding them in Lake Boga is you are able to keep them, so long as you're a bay size and bag limit. So people that have always wanted to eat a silver perch or go out and catch a really good one, look, we found 300, and that's probably on the tip of the iceberg in there. And Lake Boga is not a big water, so you're a really good chance of catching one.
Your media release went on to say just that the survey yielded a pleasant surprise, capturing nearly 300, the best of which weighed nearly 2 kilos, and that's quite uncommon in Victoria, that size. The species are a terrific sport fish, most often caught on worms. Anglers are encouraged to target them in Lake Boga and abide by the minimum size of 30 centimetres and the daily bag of 5. Silver perch are not stocked into the lake and are likely to have migrated through the Kerrang lakes and irrigation channels. So, wow, how good is that? Fishing just keeps getting better in Victoria.
It just shows that the environment they're in is a healthy environment.
Absolutely.
That just points that out.
And there's a lot of talk about habitat, isn't there? And you guys doing more and more work. It's not only the artificial reefs that went into Port Phillip Bay were a major milestone for some new structure, but it's now spread out to Lake Tyers, Malakuta, to all your inland waterways as well.
Well, we're really lucky. We've got a bloke by the name of Jared Lyon who works over at the Arthur Roller Institute at Delp, and he's a mad fisherman, and he works on habitat and environmental improvements as well. And we're partnering really well with Jared on doing some really good fish stocking, habitat improvement, in water structures, ticking all the boxes, so that these places, we're seeing fishing like it was 30 or 40 years ago. And it's just, if you're an angler out there and you want to go and target a few different species, it's a great time now to do it.
Trav, now's the opportunity. Give your social media a plug.
Oh, fantastic.
Fisheries. You don't get to see the breaking news on Talking Fishing anymore. It's on your Facebook page. Give it a plug. I know it's our competition, but give it a plug.
Credit to our social media team. We've got a couple of people who work on it, and they do an absolutely brilliant job. But our Facebook page has just gone nuts, and our Instagram page now, I think we're up over 500 followers on our Instagram page, and that might be small numbers, but we've only just got it going. And both our Facebook and Instagram sites, if you like fishing, if you like knowing what's going on with fisheries, they're updated every couple of days, and they're just a fantastic way of keeping up with the news.
If you want to check out the Facebook page Fisheries Victoria, just have a look at that. I think some of those posts around the Barramundi last week, they seriously went to tens and tens of thousands of anglers. So
it was amazing.
Get on the social media there for fisheries. The other one, Trav, is the $2,000 grants to fishing clubs.
Yeah, so that's been a fantastic feedback as part of the Target 1 Million program. We went out there and we said to clubs, okay, we want to get clubs growing, we want to have more anglers involved, so that's $2,000. Tell us what you can do to improve membership at clubs.
And what sort of things are they doing, Travis, they're putting their money into as far as these clubs?
Well, there's been different sorts of suggestions come forward. Things like new hats, shirts, stuff that members can have and wear around and promote their club. Other things have been like improving their their trophies and their shields and all that. And then go fishing days and come and try a fishing day or a day out with.
I believe there's been a lot of equipment and rods and reels for kids and things
absolutely.
like that.
They've been, and all credit to angling clubs. The way they've jumped on board and the suggestions and the ideas that have come forward have just been top notch. It's been fantastic.
What do they do if they want to apply? If they just heard about it tonight, how do they apply?
Well,
for
jump
the
on
$2,000
the
grant?
the fisheries website. There'll be details there. There's a contact coordinator. It's really easy to do. You can do them online. So I'd just encourage people to go on the website.
Beautiful. Up next, Kramer's mailbag and plenty more right after this on Talking Fishing.
Talking fishing.
We know what you'd rather be doing.
We know what you've really got in mind.
We know you'd rather be out fishing. And today's the day you're gonna wear the line. 'Cause every day's a good day.
Stop wishing.
Every day's a chance to drift away. Drift away.
Every day's a good day for fishing.
See you down at Tackle World today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing. We're talking fishing.
A little bit of mailbag this week, boys.
A little bit.
That mailbox stinks, by the way. I look at that every week and go, the poor people that put their mail in that letterbox.
That's top-notch acting, though.
I'm not going to disclose where that letterbox is.
I was going to say that.
Logies are coming up.
Oh, that was very good.
Hey, boys, have a look at this photo. Have a look. Someone sent this in, right?
Look at
what
that.
a beauty. This is the headlines. What a beauty. Jeff Chapman, the
He's
manager
touched.
of the fishing department at Dandy Sports
Jeffrey
Depot,
Chapman.
shows
He is
off a
touched.
10-pound, 9-ounce quinnet salmon, also code for Chinook salmon. He netted during the opening last weekend at Lake Bullenmeroi. The fishing contest was attended by over 4,000 hopefuls, but only 100 salmon were caught. Jeff's catch earned him $50 worth of prizes for third place.
Was that 1965?
I didn't have to be, innit? Have a look at it.
Have a look at him.
He's a strapping young lad, wasn't he?
He's a now, what's Jeff, 70 now or something?
Absolutely, got to be. We'll get a phone call tomorrow.
Trav, I've got a question for you. Why was there a closed season on Chinook salmon in Lake Bullenmeroi back in 1953?
Well, there used to be all sorts of different regulations with our trout and salmonid fisheries. I think it was closed to vehicles to boats up until 1982. So there was lots of different sort of things trialled and tested.
Yeah.
We've really gone with a philosophy that we want to get as many people out fishing as possible.
Yeah.
So unless we've got a really good biological reason why, because they're spawning or recruiting, those sorts of things, we're really going to try and keep as many places open and access available. But our Chinook salmon fishery now at Bullenmeroi is just already going gangbusters. Full credit to Anthony Forster and Taylor Hunt in our fisheries team, who have just, there's been a bit of criticism about some of the changes with brown trout stocking, but they're still cracking brown trout in there. But now there are 5-6 kilo Chinook salmon in there.
And you've actually got to keep the numbers down to get the size of the fish, don't you?
Yeah, we know that if we kept up the stocking with the other fish, the Chinook salmon wouldn't get above 2 or 3 kilo. We just wouldn't see those fish.
So would you like to see the days return where 4,000 anglers turn up to an event?
I'd love to see that.
That's
I really
amazing.
would. I mean,
That's bigger than the Cod Classic.
Yeah.
That's hard to fathom, isn't it?
Yeah. There's other pictures going around. We might try and put them up on social media tomorrow about just cars bumper to bumper lined up around the lake and people just fishing off the bank of it. But 4,000 people to an event like that is amazing. So
You should aim for 1 million fishermen, I reckon.
yeah, that's a good idea.
Maybe. So you wouldn't consider a closed season just to create an event?
Well, it's a funny thing. I don't know whether or not some of those changes that have occurred, because they've happened with cricket clubs and footy clubs and all these sorts of things. People just don't seem to turn up on those masses anymore for any sorts of things. But look, we try as much as we can to hold festivals and events. We're going to have a trout opening festival and all sorts of different things to try and build up that sense of expectation and excitement. But hopefully, as the fisheries continue to improve and we get more people fishing, maybe we'll see something like that in the future.
Yeah, wow, big event. Let's move along. This one was sent to us by Captain Scudge, it says. G'day, guys. After much debate concerning the use of banjos on your show, why do people send us banjos? We've developed the Banjana by Ray-Ban. Please note, all new clothing articles were released unharmed to be used by the next lucky angler. I think we're going to have a look at the new things people send us. Anyway,
that's good. Yeah, taking off the wing of a banjo shark.
It is a whole banjo shark. It's a small one, truly.
Is it?
So kid said, but anyway, the things people send us, we just put them up there. We don't get to choose what people send us. They just send us. If you like to write to me or these blokes, this is what you do.
Send your mail to Kramer's Mailbag, PO Box 734, Patterson Lakes, Victoria 3197, or email kramer@ifish.com.au.
Trav, the number one thing that people write to us about, in fact, we were about to start a segment, then we thought it might offend you, so we stopped it, called Don't Get Me Started, but is boat ramps.
Yeah.
You must get a lot of...
By the sounds of things, you're over here.
I would love it if you explained, unfortunately, the politics of it. What's in your jurisdiction and what's outside, and because you can't change the world, can you?
No, well, fisheries, when we manage particular things, we don't manage land and water specifically. And I know your listeners and viewers, no one likes to hear government officials passing the buck, so I'll try not to do that. But
But you've got to face reality too.
Yeah. So we don't actually manage boat ramps as such. It's usually local governments, Parks Victoria, Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning, committees of management, and each of those different agencies or committees may have different management arrangements. And I know that can be very frustrating for anglers. Going to one boat ramp and paying for parking, going to another boat ramp and having facilities that aren't as good as others. So it's certainly something that we're working with the other departments to try and really echo the voice of frustrated anglers and say, guys, why have we got really good systems here, not as good systems here, and not as good facilities here? Now we spend a little bit of money from rec fishing licence money and Target 1 million on upgrading boat ramps across the state. So we pitch in where we can to help. But some of these larger boat ramps, I mean, they're sort of $20-30 million proposals to build new ones, those sorts of things. But certainly, I get a lot of emails and correspondence about boat ramps and boat ramp rage and improvements. And where we can, we partner up with those agencies to help out.
Do you think, because there's a couple of things. One is the lack of maintenance, the lack of facilities like fish cleaning tables, and I know that you do have a program to get fish cleaning tables, but you can't conquer the management authorities. Do you think there's a day that will come where that could be all undone? I mean, abolish launch fees, get rid of these apps now. You don't even have a machine there, an app, and people can't work them out. The carbon tax came and went.
Yeah.
Do you reckon the day could come that...
It's a huge gripe, isn't it?
It's a massive gripe.
Huge
Do you reckon it
gripe
can go? And don't get yourself into trouble. Well, I know you're one for getting yourself into trouble.
So like Trav.
Now what I think is, I would say, Dave, the bureaucracy continues to evolve all the time, and we continue to improve what we're doing. And so if there are systems and processes in place that we can make better, I'm sure there'll be steps taken to do it. And we've seen already, I'm part of a new Department of Digital, which has brought together a couple of different business arms, and there's reasons and rationales for that. So the great thing is that we are public servants, we work for the public, and if they're saying something's not working, we want you to do a better job with it, then generally that's what we try and do. So I think there's always hope for improvement. I think there's always opportunity there. So we'll see what the coming years bring.
Did you change your story to downstairs before?
All good. Trav, just to change the subject, fisheries officers. How many of them are there in Victoria? Just to put you on notice.
It's about 70. 70 officers out and about at any one time. We've got some other officers that work in intelligence and investigations, and we've got some covert activity that we do to capture really significant illegal offending, and we've got some others that help out around there as well, but about 70.
Is there, with rec fishing growing, is their job getting easier or harder, do you think?
Well, I'd say two things on that. One, fishermen generally do the right thing, and certainly the days of people doing a wink and a nudge and putting out cross lines and set lines and gill netting and all the rest of these things.
Okay, you point at me then.
It was your dad last
Generally what we find in our fisheries... what we generally find is people will dob in another fisherman if they're doing the wrong thing. It's like drink drive, bloody idiot. You know, they're absolutely good like that. So, and our fisheries officers work really well with anglers in educating them and communicating. Look, certainly as we get more people fishing, we'll have to continue to monitor that and make sure we've got the balance right and we're able to cover what we do. But at the moment, I've got to say, I'm pretty biased on this, but I've been in fisheries almost 10 years. I haven't heard a single complaint about a fisheries officer come to me. Like, they really go out of their way to engage really strongly with anglers. And, you know, if you're doing the wrong thing, you're going to get pinged. So,
well said. A great thing. And I know we had Rod Barber on the show it was late last year, I think it was. And some of those guys, they're just great guys. Been in the job a long time.
Well, Rod also won a gold medal in the Police and Emergency Services Games for surfing, so he's multi-talented and skilled.
There you go.
G'day, Rod. Just sort of plug that.
Coming up this week's Hotspots, and we talk stocking of saltwater species with Travis Dowling, next on Talking Fishing.
Talking Fishing.
G'day, Callan here from Paul Worslam's Tackle World Cranbourne. Supercharged batteries have been supplying maintenance-free marine batteries since 2001. The Seamaster Gold range is second to none, delivering superior starting power and reserve capacity. No need to top up with water, truly a fit and forget battery. With up to 2 years replacement warranty, you know you have quality. Your battery is your lifeline. Without it, you're dead in the water because it's bloody hard to push start. I've got a Seamaster battery in my boat. Make yours a Seamaster Gold today.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Hello, Richie Minnow here. It's now time for this week's Fishing Hotspots on Talking Fishing. Marvellous.
Oh dear.
Got a follower, Richie.
Did you boys hear the news? Richie and Kylie are going to Bali during their break.
Really?
On holiday? Who knows what's going to happen over there? There'll be little cowfish or, who knows? They've only just met.
Going to Kuta Villa, I hope not. Like you're eating.
Oh dear, let's get into the hotspots. And I tell you what, a place that I went past it on Sunday. We went out the heads looking for kingies again. What a waste of time that was. And we've come back in the heads and we'll go into St Leonard's, and you can just see on the horizon well over 200 boats sitting on St Leonard's. It was just amazing on Sunday, the amount of people on the whiting there. But it's a hot spot, and
possibly
you can't go past it.
Everywhere.
I know.
It might have something to do with it.
It might have something to do
full
with it.
moon that day.
Terrible fishing on the weekend.
It's beautiful weather though.
There was that many people on St Leonard's. We stopped there for a little while. Then we went over to the Pinnis Channel, and I've never seen so many boats on the Pinnis Channel.
At least they were catching a couple of fish there, weren't they?
Yeah, there was a few fish over there, but it was tough. It was tough fishing all round on that. Second hotspot, Mornington Pier, adds. It's going bananas, isn't it?
I've never seen so many squid jigs under the size 2, so 1.5, 1.8.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. The amount of squid being caught off Mornington Pier at the moment.
On small squid jigs.
On small squid jigs. And not just that, the pinky schools have been great too. So it's not just the squid fishing. The gars are up and about, the pinkies are pretty good, and it's just been an absolute fishing mecca over the last couple of weeks.
No gars on Seaford Pier, apparently, they're telling us. No gars on...
they're at Mornington Pier now.
Mornington Pier, yep. No, they're not at Seaford.
No, they're at Mornington.
Too many people on Seaford. The talk of Mornington Pier, there's talk of a school of calamari. I'm not joking here, because people are that move in, like you see, a school of salmon, big black cloud. They reckon there's a school of calamari that comes in, and they virtually circle around. You see the cloud come, everyone throws their squid jigs out again.
You catch one.
It's amazing fishing.
You catch one, and it literally is a black cloud.
Yeah.
But and others follow them too when you pull them in. Yeah.
Let's head over to Western Port, and the Tyab Bank is the capital for calamari right now, and it's only going to get better as the water gets cooler and we go into the cooler months of the year. That's the place to be, isn't it, boys?
That's it. We just spoke about Mornington Pier. That's the capital of small calamari. The capital of big calamari is Tyab Bank.
I've got to make this one a hot spot too. Sandy Point at Balnarring. I know we spoke about it in Catch of the Day, but it was going to be a hot spot as well because magnificent fishing there, particularly when you get that southwesterly wind. It's well protected, not too far to get down there from the ramps, and just heaven for King George whiting there.
Take the
some
kids.
Good fish. Take the kids.
Get the kids out.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Bit of freshwater stuff, boys. Lake Eildon. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, Lake Eildon's probably been hit a little bit harder, so we're getting a few more reports because of the blue-green algae, north of that, along the Murray River and things. So we've got a tremendous amount of traffic go over to Lake Eildon, and they've been catching a few cod over there. And look, good news, Travis. I mean, we'll be able to fish it all year around now.
Yeah, that's right. Will those fish slow down in Lake Eildon?
How do you mean?
Like with the colder weather?
Oh, the natives will. But that's a great thing about it. It's a 365-day a year fishery now.
Yeah.
So when the natives slow down, like the trout will come on. So June, July, August, over there you'll have fantastic trout fishing, and so people that only used to fish it for trout and then maybe go chase a few reddies in summer. Now they go over there and they get stuck into the yellows and cod
every day now.
Switch over the trout.
It's all good.
It's a good fishery every day of the year now. Just change your lure slightly or put a different bait on, and you'll be getting some quality fish.
There you go. We're about to let the cat out of the bag. Quite often you see on Catch of the Week some young girls with the surname of Dowling, and they're fishing at Murchison. So the 6th hot spot for the week is Murchison. Trav, tell us what Murchison's like. Sorry.
It's terrible. It's had a blue-green algae.
It's dry.
It fishes,
tides out.
It fishes very, very well. And if you've got little kids like me and you want to go somewhere camping and fishing, you couldn't pick a better spot in Victoria. It's beautiful, and you always catch fish there. And you're amongst the red gums, and there's cockatoos and galahs. It's just wonderful.
Especially on a Wednesday.
A bit like Trelly's backyard. Oh dear. All right, so there you go. Get up to Murchison and enjoy some good fishing. Let's change the tune a little bit now, boys, and we're going to talk about saltwater stocking, Trev. So you made some big inroads in the last year or two. Tell us a bit about that.
Well, look, part of Target 1 Million commitment was to also increase our marine stocking that we're doing. We dipped the toe in the water a little while ago with prawns at Lake Tyers, but we've gone really all out. And again, it's a credit to a few people in fisheries that have worked really hard on this. Last week we stocked 5,000 mulloway into Tamboon Inlet, the first mulloway that have been stocked there. We stocked another 11,000 mulloway into Lake Tyers, and these are inlets which have great black brim fisheries, fantastic dusky fisheries. For anglers in the coming years that are flicking a soft plastic out there, I've got a little prawn out the end and get a nibble, and the rod gets pulled out of their hand by a 15 kilo mulloway. I mean, they're going to experience some amazing fishing. So. And again, this is all Target 1 Million money and recreational fishing licence fee money, and it's all about trying to improve our fisheries around the state. So, it's incredibly exciting. And not to mention estuary perch. We've stocked estuary perch heavily through a number of those waterways as well. So, the fishing opportunities there now for people are going to be brilliant.
Hey, Trev, how do you come up with what you're going to stock and where? Like you just said, we've had 5,000 mulloway into Tamboon and another 11. Who come up with that? Who thought, we'll just put mulloway?
Because I would have thought saltwater would have been like at the lap of the gods. Like freshwater's a confined area, but saltwater's like the ocean's out there.
We don't just put the finger in the wind and say, we think about this, Manny. So we do work really closely with local angling clubs and local angling groups, and we make sure we take them through the science of what we've done. We look at what potential impacts there might be on other species that are in there, and that's how we work out our stocking levels. But at the end of the day, we're never 100% sure until after we've done some of the stocking, and we see how those fish go. And the example was with Lake Eildon, we stocked it with 200,000 golden perch a year for about 6 years. No one saw a golden perch. We didn't know it had worked, but they would come up on sounders, but no one was catching one. Then one year they just switched on, and every year since they've gone really well. So with this, we're going to see how it goes, and we'll continually monitor the other fisheries in there, the duskies and the black brim.
Just got to shoot a big of those few big fat pelicans, don't we? Just
No, my daughters would cry, and they are protected.
I've read a bit of criticism about the prawns in Lake Tyers, and I want to add, maybe you answer this question. How good are they? It's a closed system at the moment, and it's been closed for a while.
What was the criticism?
What a waste of time. They'll just get eaten or they'll run out to sea.
Waste of time. Okay.
How much tourism do you reckon's brought into Lake Tyers?
I witnessed it firsthand this year. Clearly the people criticising it weren't at Lake Tyers.
No.
Because to sit in the little pub there while having a meal and watch the sun go down, then all of a sudden you see all these little lights turn on. How many people do you reckon would have been walking around the flats there?
Easy 200.
It was the
including
most...
many kids with
That's
their
right.
mums and dads.
It is the most accessible place to go prawning. It is shallow. There's people everywhere, and we saw a couple of people go down. And I can tell you, there was one elderly gentleman who went down. And there would have been 4 or 5 people drop what they were doing, and they were there in a split second to help him up, make sure he was okay, and off he went getting his bucket of prawns.
Steal his prawns.
It's
I did while Adam was helping him up.
But clearly these people criticising it haven't been there, because it was amazing seeing how many people were out there on that flat getting stuck into the prawns, and it's just another aspect of Victorian fishing which is going through the roof. It is brilliant.
It is good. We saw a very good fisher down there, customer of the shop, who took his family down there just for the prawns.
That's right.
So
Two young boys.
Trav, you've got 30 seconds to answer this question. Wrap up. How good is fishing in Victoria?
Well, I'm clearly unbiased, but I'd say, I mean, we've got at the moment a record investment in fishing in Victoria, and that's paying out through places like, Blue Rock Lake restrictions being lifted, trout cod fisheries at Beechworth, what we're seeing at Devil Bend Reservoir, the netting coming out of the bay, barramundi at Hazelwood, Mulloway stocking, fish stocking going from 3 to 5 million. So regardless of where you fish and what you like fishing for, whether it's tuna, trout, snapper, cod, fishing in Victoria now, I'd say, is the best it's been in a long time.
That's right.
There you go. You've heard it from the man himself, the man that's running fisheries. We're in good hands, and fishing in Victoria is good. Thank you very much, Travis, for coming along tonight. It's been
always
great
to be on.
It's great to have that opportunity to project what you're doing to the people at home. That's it for Talking Fishing. We hope you enjoyed the show. This is the last of our live shows for the season, but we still will be on air each Tuesday night throughout May as we replay the best of our shows from this season. A big thank you to our sponsors, for without them, we wouldn't have a show. And a big thank you to you people at home as well. Without you, we definitely wouldn't have a show, and we really appreciate the feedback our audience gives us. We'll be back in August with a brand new series, so until then, please stay safe on the water and enjoy your fishing.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. We got all you need, just take a look. Watch those fish jump on your hook. So just relax and take your time. Enjoy the show, then drop us a line. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing. Talking fishing.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Walker.
You too, son.
Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, talking fishing. If it's facts about fishing that you want to know, then tune in, folks, cause this is the show. We'll show you all the right bait to use, so sit right back, you got nothing to lose. Doesn't really matter if it's trout or carp, flathead, marlin or a gummy shark. Listen to the guys and you can't go wrong. They'll be talking about fishing till the cows come home. Talking fishing, nothing but fishing, we're talking fishing.
Welcome everyone to Talking Fishing, a massive show coming up tonight as always, and we take you down to the shores of Hazelwood Pondage, where a very big announcement was made last Wednesday, probably one of the biggest fishing stories to get media coverage in modern times. We also have the head of Fisheries Victoria joining us on the couch tonight with lots to talk about, including Murray cod seasons, boat ramps, fishing club grants, all that and much, much more coming up on the show. Let's get into it with a big welcome to the man who travels by kayak. Welcome, Ads.
Thanks, Dave. I've swapped spots this week and got
not that anyone can tell by you on television that you've swapped spots.
Probably get a better headshot in here. That's all right.
Enough of the headshots. all the way from Shepparton. A big welcome to Trelly. Welcome, Trelly.
Thanks, Dave. I can't believe the year's gone so fast, hasn't it?
I know.
Last show.
It is the last show, we didn't mention that just then, but it is the last live show of the season.
Yeah.
We're going to take a little break after this, but we will be replaying 4 of our best shows throughout May, so you're not going to...
2 repeats.
Yeah, might be one played 4 times. No, we'll try and pick out some of the most exciting and best shows, and over the next 4 weeks you'll see them again on Talking Fishing Tuesday nights at 8:30. But it is a special welcome to Talking Fishing once again tonight, the Executive Director of Fisheries Victoria, Travis Dowling. Welcome, Trav.
Yeah, Dave, great to be here.
Plenty to talk about, Trav, but we're going to get straight into it because we've got a lot to cover tonight. There's 10 catches of the week and they're all exciting.
Fantastic.
The big news during the week, it all happened down at Moore. We're going to have a look right now at the news, how it unfolded.
Morwell is not renowned for its beauty or hot weather, but locals say it will soon become a tropical sports hotspot. A warm weather pond is being stocked with the famous North Australian fighting fish, the barramundi, in an effort to draw anglers to the district. Nick McCallum reports from the unlikely home of a barra bonanza.
Morwell is a grey town in eastern Victoria. It's overshadowed by the Hazelwood power station, but now it wants to compete with the Northern Territory as a tropical sports fishing paradise. Today, 1,600 barramundi, 100 of them longer than 30 centimetres, were released at the Hazelwood power station pond near the town. The discharged cooling water from the station is so warm it's considered ideal for Northern Australia's famous fighting fish.
I think the northern states have enjoyed a monopoly on warm water fisheries, and we're going to put them under a bit of pressure, and we're making no apologies for that.
The idea to create a barra fishery so southern anglers will not have to spend thousands of dollars to head north. Locals are excited at the prospect of a tourism boom, maybe overexcited.
Millions of dollars into the economy of Morwell. People will travel from Tasmania, New South Wales, South Australia and all over Victoria with their boats in tow. They'll come to Morwell to catch a barramundi and they'll bring their tourism dollars with them. They won't be going to Northern Territory and Queensland anymore.
Already the pond boasts small tropical fish, ideal eating for barramundi.
If we've got metre-long barramundi in Victoria, you watch the fishermen show up.
The pond will be closed for fishing for the next 6 months to allow the new residents to acclimatise and hopefully to prosper. But locals are confident they'll have a barra bonanza starting this summer.
Well, Trav, they said it would never happen.
Yeah, it's just been fantastic.
Too late now.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yeah.
They're in.
Yeah, look, it's just been one of these things that I know you've worked so hard on for so many years, but a lot of people can't afford to go up to Darwin and they can't afford to go to Cairns or Broome or take charters and all the rest of it. And if you're a little kid who loves fishing and you're growing up and you're reading all the fishing mags, the opportunity to go and catch a barramundi in Victoria, mum and dad drive an hour, and and to be able to tick that off your list, it's just going to be unbelievable for kids.
A lot of people don't understand the history of this, and we won't go over it all, but some 8 or 9 years ago, Future Fish Foundation and AFTA Trelly jointly funded a whole lot of research. So it's not like this is a